In the morning, I'm making waffles.
Whoever said orange was the new pink was seriously disturbed.
And when it comes to huge openings, a lot of people think of me.
Just call me a fuck ass.
Brilliant. Scary.
I get nasty when I'm horny.
Welcome to Not Another 2001 Movie Podcast, a show exploring movies released during the first year of a chaotic century. Grab your bazookas and your bullhorns, guys, because we are going back to Dino Island. I'm Allison.
I'm Slate.
I'm Josh.
And my question of the week before we get started is, what's the worst vacation you've ever been on?
So I haven't had a really terrible vacation that immediately comes to mind, but I do have a memory of something really annoying, I guess. Annoying to too bad, I guess, depending on how much you care about how your teeth look. The last time I was at the beach, it's been 2001 or 2021, so I think it's been 4 years. I went meet my now wife and another couple went to the beach and doing what you did, drinking and having fun and all that stuff. And long story short, I ended up drinking somewhere between 5 to 10 Tito's and vodkas over the span of an hour or two. And the last thing I remember was walking out of the condo with my buddy Ryan, and at some point, I guess I was like eating potted meat sandwiches on the beach. That's like my beach delicacy. I love potted meat.
Oh.
Josh,
and that's like the only.
It's gonna make me throw up.
It's filthy.
That's the good part of this story. Yeah, that was the sandwiches. It's potted meat and mustard. That's the way to go.
Meat.
Bro, I'm about to throw up just listening.
And so apparently I was like that. I was still feeling good, and I was like, I guess I dropped the sandwich at some point and was like whining about my meat or something on the beach, but. As that's what it's told. That's because I don't remember. The next thing I remember after leaving the condo is I'm in the ocean and part of my tooth is chipped because a wave smacked me so hard that I bit down and chipped this tooth here. And you can kind of see it on the feed, but
Just a little bit.
it was, and that just, I went from drunk off my ass to sober in an instant. Like, it was one of those things. So I left a part of me in the ocean, in the Atlantic.
Literally. For me, I've never really had, I guess, like a bad vacation. I'll say, well, when I was looking and thinking back, most of my vacations were pretty good, and I guess really for me the one that stands out the most was actually this would have been the worst probably 2 years ago. Went to Florida with my brother and my nephew and my brother's wife, his whole family. As somebody who is a Halloween Horror Nights enthusiast when it comes to Universal, I go every year. It's like a pilgrimage for me. I was really excited to go last year. I went, I guess last year would have been 2025, so the year before last. But I was really excited to go 2024. They had an Insidious house and a bunch of other, cool houses that I was excited for. My nephew had never been. My brother had never been. So we were geared up, ready to go. Got down there, hurricane hit. And so the entire time, the weather was terrible. Just rain, insane waves, couldn't enjoy the beach, no sun for you to get. We were supposed to be there for a week, and the tropical storm just kept building and became like an even more dangerous hurricane. I forgot the name of it, but it ended up flooding even in Orlando. We were staying on Cocoa Beach and going to drive to Orlando, but it ended up flooding even Orlando. Like the Universal Park had to shut down the houses for a couple days and everything. So we drove all the way down there. They declare a state of emergency and we leave early and drive back and didn't get to do Halloween Horror Nights or any of the fun stuff that, we wanted to do. So I would honestly say that was probably the worst. Still had a decent time. Like vacations, I feel like I can make the most out of any kind of vacation. But not getting to do Halloween Horror Nights was a bummer for sure.
Yeah, I think that qualifies as bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was like racking my brain about other ones, and I was like, really, I don't have like bad vacations. I just have bad experiences. Like when Ryan tried to get me killed in Mexico. That was fun. That'll be a story for another time. But yeah, like that one, and then the cruise ship. Like I was, that's the same trip, but I was 22, wanting to party. And, of course, like, I'm drinking Four Locos, and they don't have Four Locos on the boat. And, a cruise ship is more like, hey, let's chill, relax. And, I did end up passing out on the pool deck in the middle of the ocean and got blisters all over my head. And
I remember that.
That was really rough, too. So those would probably be the two worst experiences I had on a vacation. How about you, Allison?
This one is easy, and if only my sister were here to help share the stories, because I know I've forgotten some of the details. But basically, our family sort of did the same vacation every year in the summer. We'd either go to Myrtle Beach, as one does, or like a beach in Florida. It was always just kind of your standard beach vacation. But my dad was a huge history buff, and I don't know how he convinced my mom to do this, but he was like, "We should go to Washington D.C. for our vacation this year."
Yeah.
And I think I was 9 or 10, and I was just like, "Oh, we're going somewhere different. Oh, this is cool." And my sister was just like, "Oh my God, this is gonna suck so bad." Well, DC's basically a swamp. We were there in July, and I don't remember which anniversary of some. I don't know history like I should, but we were there during like the anniversary of some big date. I don't remember exactly what it was. But it was hot as hell. We had to walk everywhere. My parents kept getting in fights over like how long it would take to walk places, and we're hot and we're sweaty. My dad insisted that we go to the 4th of July parade, and we're sitting on this curb in like the blistering sun, and we sat there for 5 hours, and the parade was still going. And by this point, it was like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. We hadn't eaten lunch. There was a homeless woman sitting next to my sister that had one of those red, white, and blue popsicles, and she was just like holding it, and it was just dripping all over my sister.
She was asking you guys if you had any potted meat.
Yeah, do you have any potted meat in your pockets that you can hand over? And my dad was like, "No, we're going to stay till the end of this parade." And it finally got to the point where we were like, "We will murder you if we do not get to leave this parade. Like, this is absolutely insane." We left and had lunch. It was still going on when we were done. Like, the dancers in the streets were like, they could barely move. They were kind of like flailing, and they were just sweating like visibly profusely. We got threatened on the street multiple times. Like, people would ask for money. And I remember one time my dad was just like, "I'm not giving you any money." And the guy said, "I'm going to be waiting for you when you get back tonight outside this hotel." We were like, "Oh my," so we had to like take a cab back because we were afraid we were going to get murdered. There are so many like other little details about why that trip was so bad, but basically we were all miserable the entire time. Everything sucked. It was so hot. And when we left the city, I think my mom was driving, and like we were so excited to leave that we drove 20 miles in the wrong direction. So we were just like trying to get out of DC as fast as we could.
I don't care if we're heading to Baltimore. Just get out of here.
Yeah. And like my dad never lived that down. They were like, "Never again, never again. We're going to a beach. We're going somewhere where we can just sit and relax and do nothing."
Poor Pops.
Yeah. He was just trying to give us a little education, and we did not appreciate it at all.
How old were you and your sister?
She's 6 years older than me. I was 9 or 10, so she would have been.
Oh, that had to be
15,
miserable as a high schooler. See, if you're like a kid,
yeah.
like your age, I could see it, but like, oh my God, that would have blown.
Yeah.
Now, even if I was 9 or 10 and like, oh, hey, we usually go to the beach and this year we're going to DC, I would not have been happy either. So
I also remember eating at this one restaurant, and like, the restaurants there are so expensive, which just like, my dad was just like, "Oh God, everything here is so expensive." And I ordered like 4 Cokes. I drank like 4 Cokes, and they charged $3 per refill. And he got the bill. He was like, "You drank $12 worth of Coke."
That's crazy.
And now that's what they cost at the movie theater.
I know. I'm like, well, but back in 1991 or 2 or whenever that was insane.
That's wild.
Amanda, honey, Dr. Grant said that's a bad idea.
The whole reason I asked about Vacation is because this movie sort of hinges on Téa Leoni's character and her boyfriend, I guess. Taking a vacation.
Boyfriend.
Yeah, there's just a very kind of subtle hint about it. And she's taking her son. She's divorced, and the son and the boyfriend go missing when they go parasailing or paragliding, I guess it is, around the island of Isla Sorna, which is the sister island to Isla Nublar, which is the original home of Jurassic Park. So, a little background on this movie. Jurassic Park III, directed by Joe Johnston, which I had forgotten about. I forgot that he directed this movie. It's the final movie of the original trilogy of dino movies, preceded by the OG Jurassic Park in '93 and the Lost World Jurassic Park in 1997. So Sam Neill and Laura Dern reprise their roles as Dr. Alan Grant and Dr. Ellie Sattler, respectively. Although Laura Dern is basically there as a glorified cameo.
Yeah,
she just cashed a check and did like 6 hours of work, I guess.
I got one day, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? Good for her, because this movie is not good. So new cast members include William H. Macy as Paul Kirby, Téa Leoni as his ex-wife Amanda Kirby, Trevor Morgan as Eric Kirby, and then Alessandro Nuvola as Dr. Grant's assistant Billy. So we said the plot of this movie really boils down to the Kirby parents tricking or kidnapping, depending on how you want to look at it, Dr. Grant and his assistant to come to the island of Isla Sorna so that he can help them find their missing son. Chaos ensues.
Misleading,
yeah.
They don't go paragliding, they go dinosauring.
Dinosauring, yes. So, no shock that this movie got mixed reviews. Like the first Jurassic Park has like a 93 or something on Rotten Tomatoes.
Almost perfect.
It is a perfect movie, as I have told people many, many times. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites.
I didn't see it until the first Jurassic World came out. I was super late to it, like 20 years after it came out, and it's flawless.
It holds
so
up.
Good.
I watch it probably at least once a year.
It's a masterpiece, absolutely.
It is. This is not a masterpiece.
Disaster.
Jurassic Park 3 has a 49% on Rotten Tomatoes and an audience cinema score of a B-, which is, again, not great for an audience score. It qualified.
The audience score on Rotten Tomatoes itself is 37%, so even the critics liked it better than the audience. I'm sorry. That's crazy.
So this movie qualified automatically for this podcast just because it was one of the top 10 grossing movies of the year. It earned $368.8 million worldwide, which that was a steep decline from the original. Has about $1.1 billion, but that includes the various re-releases that they've done. The Lost World is sitting at around $680 million, and JP3 is the lowest earning movie of the entire franchise.
That's the thing that when I've noticed that when I was looking through all the box office ahead of, like, back when we drafted, because I was just kind of curious about some of this stuff and was reading about Jurassic Park 3 then, and that jumped out to me and just really surprised me, and because it kind of speaks to the lethargy of the franchise. Like, people were just kind of ready for it to go away. Not really, because that's still, I think that was 7th or 8th overall at the box office that year. And this is just domestic. But so it was still cranking out huge numbers. I mean, it was like doing great. When you adjust that for inflation, it's like probably close to, 600-700 million. So it did really well by most movie standards. But at the time, I mean, you were clocking bigger numbers, and it's still wild to me that that's the lowest, because we'll get into this, but I mean, quality, the reflection of quality, I think this movie, time has done it justice in terms of other sequels coming out.
Yeah. And we were texting about this earlier. So the original Jurassic Park is number 1. It cannot be touched. It is a perfect movie, as I have said. It's up here. and then there is a cliff that drops down, and I would put this movie second.
I don't.
I'm going to talk about how this is not a great movie, but I would actually put it second in this whole franchise.
I think you guys are wild for that, and we can get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's weird. While we're talking about sequels, and obviously the whole point of this podcast, right, is to talk about movies from 25 years ago and how they tie to what today's time is. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but this film to me is a lot like where Avatar is currently. In the sense that, like, this third film is not one that really people were clamoring for, needed, but they just feel like they need to make it. And James Cameron's the same way. Like, he has this huge message he wants to make with Avatar. And the third film's now out, and I just see it being as one of those films that's not going to succeed as much as the second or the first film. And he's already saying, like, if it doesn't do well, then he's going to have a press conference to release the storyline for 4 and 5.
I thought that was really
still
funny.
Get the end of the story, like,
Also, I want him to stop making Avatar movies and start making other movies, because we need non-Avatar.
That's my thing.
I like the Avatar movies; they're good, but like, we don't need 5 of them.
I know.
Yeah, I was never in on Avatar, and I mean, we're recording this in late December for the listeners, and I think it's made, the third one's made like 700 million worldwide or whatever, so it's going to get to $1 billion pretty easy, probably at least maybe $1.5 billion, which is, I think, would be down from both of the first two. I think those each hit 2, or the second one came close to hitting $2 billion. But still, $1.5 billion, if it gets there, is a hell of a lot of money. But it does speak to kind of like, it's really rare for sequels in general to outperform the originals a lot of times. I mean, I think like Avengers, like the first two, like the Infinity War and Endgame are probably exceptions in that regard. I think the last Spider-Man that came out too is like a really big exception. Like I think it got to, I think it's the highest grossing in that entire franchise, even if you adjust for inflation. But in general, like people just kind of get tired of seeing stuff. And the Avatar things, I mean, again, I'm not into them really, but like they are incredible works for what they are. Yeah. But once you see it the first time, I think a lot of it it's like, okay, what do you got for me next?
Yeah.
I'd rather see James Cameron the same way, Alice. I'd rather see him do what he's on. He's 78 or 79 or something. I'd rather see him making some things before he, leaves the
Here's
earth.
where I'm at with that, though. He's already said, basically, once he's done with Avatar, he and Robert Rodriguez have decided they're going to make another Alita Battle Angel movie, which I don't need that either. Like, give me something good, Cameron, please. I mean, the Avatar movies are good, don't get me wrong. And they are, like, a masterpiece to look at and, wow and wonder. And the storylines are even good. The performances are great, all of that. But, yeah, I mean, he's putting so much time and effort into films that I think that he thinks we need to watch. He's wanting us to watch because we need this kind of movie, and it's not what we want right now. And I feel like, going back to this film, Jurassic Park III, this film caught itself in the era where big blockbusters, let's fork out as much money as we can to make big money on the backside, and you get the third film that nobody really asked for. It's not even dedicated or derivative of the books anymore at this point. Yeah. It's just a
first movie. Well, yeah. Crichton wrote The Lost World after the original Jurassic Park, right? Because Spielberg was like, I got to have more material to adapt.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Write me another story.
Right. Yeah, and Spielberg doesn't direct this one either. It just felt like this film feels very hollow in the sense that there's not a whole lot of heart to it. There's not, the main pieces there for it. It feels like the studio throwing money and saying, let's let some dinosaurs do some cool shit, and let's see how much money we can make off of it.
Yeah, they're just cashing a check. Everybody's cashing a check. And I mean, that's what movies are to some degree. It's stuff like this. I do think it's interesting because he also, because Jaws spun out for a while and had sequels, and it's interesting that Jurassic Park had the legs more than Jaws did in terms of, I think in it.
Well, dinosaurs have legs, sharks don't. Sorry.
You make a good point, Slade.
Thank you. In case you were wondering.
Touche. I guess the dinosaur in this movie is sort of a shark.
Oh, we're gonna get into that.
He's amphibious or whatever.
Yeah. All right, let me go through a few fun facts about this movie. So, there was so much. I couldn't possibly get into everything about this movie, this franchise, because there's just so much. But a few things I thought was interesting. I can't believe I didn't know this, because I know so much about Lord of the Rings. Sam Neill turned down a role in Lord of the Rings. He's too polite to say what it was. I can't remember the quote. It's basically like, I don't want the guy who got the role thinking I'm some prick. That,
Fair.
He only got it because I turned it down. So my first question is, do you think he is still kicking himself today?
Yes.
And 2, who do you think he was meant to play? Because I have a theory on that.
I don't know the characters. I mean, I think you got the wrong 2 co-hosts to
Yeah,
have
well, I got
a
2
Lord of the
options.
Rings discussion.
I got 2 options. And they're really the only 2 that I kind of remember that are somewhat like side characters would be possibly Gandalf, but I don't know. But I think Gandalf probably fits him, but if not him, my first thought was Bilbo Baggins.
I think he was meant to be Elrond, which is the role that Hugo Weaving took.
I don't even know who Elrond is.
about
I know
to say,
L. Ron
yeah.
Hubbard.
So whenever I think you'll see it whenever we get to Fellowship of the Ring. But Elrond is one of the elves who fought Sauron in the original war, and he's just kind of elves are preternaturally young; they don't age. But he has this kind of just like hangdog, grizzled aura about him because he's seen some shit essentially, and I think that Sam Neill can play.
Sure.
So I was like, I am positive that he was meant to be Elrond, turned it down, and they hired Hugo Weaving.
Well, looking at his filmography since Jurassic Park III, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he regrets it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some. I mean, there's some of these movies are good, I'm sure, but I mean, the only thing I even recognize is Thor Ragnarok.
Totally.
Well,
forgot he
and
was
the
in
Jurassic
that.
World that he came back for.
Oh my god, that one is so bad. It's so bad. I fell
I've
asleep
not
like
seen
4
that
times
one.
trying to watch it. It's
You guys
is
are
it
haters.
Dominion?
I like the new ones. Yeah, Dominion's good.
No, oh my god, it's not Slate.
I like the new ones, okay? I would honestly put this one and The Lost World, and only because I don't really remember much about The Lost World. Like, I need to rewatch it. The only thing I really remember is, like, the mini raptors pretty much ganging up on everybody, and I remember, like, feeling that Jeff Goldblum's not necessarily, an Indiana Jones action star. Yep. But other than that, I don't remember much about the movie. I would put this one and Lost World as my 2 least favorite, even with all the absurdity that comes along with the new Jurassic World movies. I mean, we can get into that, but there's so many different things as far as like creating their own dinosaur species. One of them, I think, thinks like a human. The girl that's a clone that's, all the dinosaurs are tied to, and you've got a parental and teenage, like punk rock, lost emotion raptor thing with Chris Pratt, and then she goes and finds herself and has a family and protecting her family. I get it. All of it is completely absurd. I still prefer those over these 2.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh. Side note about Hugo Weaving, who I don't know if you can picture who he is, but like
Red Skull.
Yes, he's Red Skull. He was in Lord of the Rings franchise. He's Agent Smith in the Matrix. And he is the voice of Megatron in Transformers. Or no, Optimus Prime. Sorry, not Megatron.
Oh, yeah.
Hugo Weaving's not
maybe
Prime.
It is. No, he's not. No, he's not Prime. Who's the villain?
Megatron?
That's Megatron.
Is it Megatron? Okay, yeah, he's the voice of Megatron. So it's like, man, he made some money.
Yeah, he's
in the
talking about
aughts.
cash and checks.
He's a lot like Andy Serkis in the sense that he is a chameleon. He can do pretty much any kind of role, as far as putting lots of makeup on, doing multiple voices, all of that type of stuff. He is a very, very talented actor. I will give him that.
I love Hugo Weaving.
He's also kind of got a chameleon-like face. Like I think, and I say that in a good way. I mean, well, he might not take it that way.
All right, continuing. We are talking about JP3 and not any Hugo Weaving movie. So this story was, I'd not heard this either, and this is insane. So the home video release of Jurassic Park 3, which would have come out, I guess, in late 2001, maybe? maybe early
Probably.
2002.
The movie came out in July, so
Yeah.
probably late, maybe early 22. Yeah.
But it was supposed to have a emergency disposable cell phone with it, like the first. It came with like some sort of like card, and the first 1,000 people to like submit the card would get this like emergency disposable cell phone created by the company hopon.com. So here's the description from Variety magazine.
Anybody want to put that in their browser?
It still works. I did, because I was like, surely that company is out of business. Still exists. Still exists. I can't tell what they do, but they still exist. Variety magazine described the phones designed primarily for emergencies because the cell phone was integral to the story of the rescue in last summer's hit movie. So I guess it came out 2002. Have enough battery power to last 6 months and allow users to make up to 60 minutes of calls anywhere in the country.
Hey, Dad? Hi. Yeah, I'm on my way, but actually my car won't start. I got this new Jurassic Park disposable phone, so do you want to just come get me and then we'll have my car towed? That sounds great. So about 20 minutes? Okay. I'll see you then. Thanks. Bye.
Wow.
Does not have an assigned phone number, can't receive incoming calls. It also doesn't have a keypad, relying instead on verbal dictation of the desired number through an earpiece. That sounds so absurd 25 years later.
That is a quintessential. We talk about going back into the time, and that's a quintessential. That's almost like a 90s thing. It's like a relic of the 90s, like in terms of a giveaway for a home video release to begin with. But
the funniest
it's clever.
But the funniest part of this is, so they were supposed to give these phones out with Jurassic Park 3 as like a not pre-sale, but it was going to come out as this like promo before it came out in stores. Well, the company couldn't get the phones done in time. So everybody who bought Jurassic Park 3 expecting to get this emergency cell phone was given like a gift card, or I can't remember exactly what it said, but they were given some other prize. But whenever the phones did finally, emerge, people like opened them up, and it turns out it was just a jerry-rigged Nokia phone that they were like slapping their name on.
Hell yeah.
So that all quickly went down the toilet.
Yeah, bigger flop, the movie or the phone?
These are special phones. They're limited edition phones. So these phones will actually be collector's items. Please don't recycle these phones. If I was you, I'd keep them.
All right. Joe Johnston and Spielberg are apparently buddies. And Johnston had told Spielberg at the release of the first movie, he's like, hey, if you ever decide not to direct a sequel, give me a call. So apparently that's how we got Joe Johnston here, who by the way, this movie is not one of them, but he has directed some bangers, some movies that I love, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, The Rocketeer, Jumanji, Captain America, The First Avenger, which is sort of basically The Rocketeer reimagined. But he's also made some real duds. But he's apparently talked about doing a sequel, a second sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with Josh Gad starring. But the latest I could find about it was like they announced it in 2019. In 2023, Josh Gad was basically like, oh, it's still in development, delayed, COVID, nobody knows what's going on. And I haven't seen anything since, so I don't know if that's still happening. But Rick Moranis was apparently also going to return. So maybe it's not happening, but he is returning for Spaceballs 2, apparently. So
Another film we don't need, and yet here we are.
But Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money.
Is that what it's called?
That's in the original Spaceballs. That's what Yogurt says. Like, oh, I'll return in the sequel, Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money.
Fair.
Also, this movie was co-written by Alexander Payne, who wrote Sideways, Election, The Holdovers, like other movies I haven't seen, but that were like The Descendants that were very well received. I was like, so he's like a legit like award-winning writer.
The movie Sideways, are you talking about the one with Paul Giamatti?
Paul Giamatti.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all right.
So I'm like, how did he end up with this pile of trash? I mean, you got like what I consider, a good director, at least, he's got a decent track record in Joe Johnston, and you got Alexander Payne. I'm like, it's just, it went awry.
Well, A couple years later, he wrote, "I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry."
Ooh, banger. That's a banger. I know y'all.
I've
ain't
never
making fun
seen
of
it.
Chuck
I've
and
never
Larry.
seen it. I'll be straight. I've never seen it. So.
Chuck and Larry is one of Adam Sandler's best movies, like in
God.
his second tier of his career. Allison, stop it. It's so good. It's so good.
Oh, and one thing, I rewatched The Lost World as well.
See, he has range, I guess. That's what we can
Yeah.
say. He has range.
There you go.
Just because I wanted to like be able to compare again. Like, do I like this more than The Lost World? The answer is ultimately yes. But The Lost World, it establishes that like the carnivorous dinosaurs, live inland and they're all trying to get to the coast. And in this movie, they make a big point of being like, oh, but no, we need to go. We're going to the coast, and that's where all the big dinosaurs are. So I'm like, was anyone paying attention? But is that because they decided to go with the Spinosaurus, which is a partially aquatic dinosaur, and is that the justification for?
Maybe the rules are different on this island.
Maybe so.
Because it's I'll New Bar, right? Is the original island. I've already forgot. I've watched this movie twice in the last 2 weeks, and I don't even remember the name of the island they're on. So.
Yeah, Isla Sorna.
Isla Sorna, of course. Who could forget?
All right, so got my notes here. Just go through and talk about how great this movie is. So the first thing that had me laughing out loud was, the movie opens. We've got the little title card that says we're at Isla Sorna, and then it goes restricted, and I'm like, this is not subtle at all. There could have been a better way to get that point across. So we've got this kid and some guy with him. We have no idea who they are. They're paragliding with Dinosaur, which is, prominently displayed.
This illegal thing that they're doing, but yet there's people with branded
commercial
materials.
Successful. Yeah, this is the rich black market folks.
Right, it's like written across the tarp.
Probably has a phone number.
Yeah, I think it did. I think there's looks like some text beneath of it. But, the guy driving the boat is like LOLing, like, oh, we don't want to get you too close so you don't get eaten, LOL. And then literally 2 minutes later, he apparently gets eaten. Yeah. So they're flying around. The guys driving the boat disappear in some mist. The boat crashes. Cut the parasail. This green screen is the shittiest green screen.
Well, what's crazy about it? So watching the second time, this is one of the one of the things I paid really close attention to again watching it the second time. There are spots where it looks all right. Like they've clearly they're really out on a boat doing this.
Yeah.
But then the close-ups are just like, oh my god! Like, are you like they couldn't have? It's like they went out of their way to make it look fake. Like that's how.
And so, in my notes, I have one of my favorite podcasts, ripped this movie apart. And one of the guys who's like, it reminds me of the old Conan O'Brien bit where he would take his desk for a drive and there'd be that thing. And I was like, honestly, that's exactly what it looks like. And during some of those close-ups, it's so bad. Yeah,
it's like, Hitchcock when you're looking, in Psycho, she's driving and you're seeing the cars behind her and the screen in the back. It's exactly what that style is. I mean,
and there's things about this throughout that this is being forgiving, like a forgiving read of the movie, but it's almost feels like I don't know if this was the intention at all, but it feels like an old adventure movie. Like it's like almost like trying to be modern, but it's also trying to be like a 50s adventure movie where something like that wouldn't have looked out of place. Like you would have that would have looked awesome in the 50s, like if you were doing that, And there's other things later on that make me think that that's sort of the vibe that they were going for, but it's happening in this movie that's clearly modern.
Well, while we're on this subject, as far as the green screen looking bad, how is it possible that all these years later the dinosaurs look way worse than they did in the first film?
Well, they way
look worse.
But then there's scenes where they look incredible, and it will.
But they move so robotically. Even then, they might look good, but then they move and you're clearly tell that somebody's got a RC controller making the eyes roll.
Well, that's I much prefer the animatronics.
I do too. I do
that's
too,
the thing.
but
Like,
I'm just saying,
it
just
moves like
way
yeah. You
worse.
can tell the distinction between the animatronics and CGI way more in this than you
But
can.
the CGI in particular, like whenever you show crowds of dinosaurs, I'm like, why does this look worse?
They
than it
all
did?
look like the same
so bad.
dinosaur. It's like they copied and pasted it.
It looks like when you went
like
to the
an
IMAX
algorithm.
theater at the Science Museum when you were in the 3rd grade, and they're like, "This is what the Earth looked like when dinosaurs roamed," and that's what it looks like.
Oh, all right. So let's meet our other characters. So, this kid and guy, still unnamed, crash their parasail. We cut to Alan Grant and Ellie Sadler, and it'd been so long since I'd seen this that I forgot. They tricked me. I was like, oh, they got married. No, it's a fake out. He's playing with her kid, and, the kid calls him Dinosaur Man, and then she comes out, and she's like, oh, my husband's here. So you're just like, oh, shit, like, they ended up not getting married. She married this other random guy who works for the State Department, which they make sure that remember that for later.
Yep.
And this whole conversation of him being like, Ellie, do you remember what the raptors sounded like? And he starts getting real I was like, he is like hot for these raptors. And she just looks like she's kind of like backing away, and her eyes are big. She's like, no, I try not to remember. So he's establishing, they can speak to each other somehow. They have their own language, and that's why they work so well together, blah, 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 which this will come in later in the movie. Then he's giving a lecture. I was laughing at just people were kind of trickling out and leaving because I guess he's so boring.
Well, it's also a representation of this film and this series. Like, no lie, like this is where the audience is in this 3rd film. Is they're like,
oh my god,
like,
kind of, yeah. It's like people walking out of the theater like,
yeah,
oh god,
this is the same old shit. It's whatever. I mean.
So here we decide to go a little meta and have him acknowledge that he was not part of the Lost World. Jeff Goldblum played the hero role, which, as we've established, he is not well suited for. I did laugh at all the hands going up, and he's like, I'm not going to talk about Jurassic Park, and hands go down, and he's like, I can't talk about that thing in San Diego either, that I did not witness, and then like all the hands go down.
Yeah, we very clearly establishing he wasn't part of what happened in the last sequel, which it's kind of, I don't know, it's interesting. Like, if you're doing something like that, I mean, it happens early enough in the movie, but it's almost like if you're confused, like you could, if you'd just seen The Lost World in 1998 or whatever, 97 when it came out, and then showed up to this, and you're like, where the hell is everybody else that was in the last movie?
So we meet his assistant Billy, who's like flirting with a girl about how to clean a dinosaur bone with a toothbrush, I guess. Do not care for this dude from the get-go. But he has... I did not realize 3D printers existed in 2001, but apparently they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they go back to like the 80s. I was reading. It's because when they were invented, at least, like, it's wild.
Yeah. But he has 3D printed what they believe is the raptor's resonating chamber. So this is Chekhov's raptor resonating chamber, because you're like, this has got to play some role later on. But they print it. He puts it in his bag. William H. Macy showing up, pretending to be a rich dude who owns Kirby Enterprises, convinces Alan Grant to meet him as his wife. They pretend that they are rich, well-traveled assholes who love to go on crazy adventures. What is it? They said they climbed K2.
K2. They have a reserved flight on the first trip to the moon.
Yeah.
So I guess they've hooked up with Elon. In the past.
SpaceX. They also had tickets to aboard the Titan and check out the Titanic.
Titan submersible.
So okay, R.I.P. Kirby family.
They were supposed to be with the Donner Party.
Somehow
through time travel. Yeah. Oh,
continue, Allison. I didn't mean to do that.
So they're claiming that they want to fly over Isla Sorna, and they need Dr. Grant to guide them because he's so knowledgeable about dinosaurs. And it's so funny because they're like, "Oh yeah, we have permission. We can fly as low as we want. We can do whatever we want, I think." And I was like, one, they're so bad at lying, and two, Dr. Grant, he's just like, that ain't the truth.
Right, but he still goes along with it.
But then I guess when he's like, let me pull out my pen and pretend to write you a fat check, then, I guess that changes his mind because he wants funding for his dig site.
Well, yeah, because like earlier, he's like, there's nothing in heaven or earth that'll make me go back to that
Right, he said
island.
that 2 minutes ago. 2 minutes ago, and we've already changed his mind.
Oh, but a blank check might.
Perfect example. Sam Neill never wanted to come back to Jurassic Park, and then they threw the money at him, and he ended up in 3.
He looks like he does not want to be in this movie.
He clearly does. He did this just for the check.
Yeah. The thing, and I don't know if you all watched Seinfeld, but the thing I also laughed at was, Paul Kirby is claiming, well, how did you become so rich? He's like, oh, I'm basically says I'm an importer-exporter. Like George Costanza says about Art Vandelay in Seinfeld. Just like a made-up job that sounds important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sounds to me like he's a drug smuggler.
The scene on the plane. This is one of my favorite scenes of all time. Like one of my favorite memes to go to.
It's awesome.
So we've got this.
No, it's not.
I don't know who this Cooper guy is at first. He's William H. Macy's hired him, and he's hired these mercenaries. It's like not super clear to me what his role was, and then later he makes some comment about like, oh, I'm actually a booking agent. And I'm like, so he was lying too? I'm very confused.
Yeah, the gang on the bodyguards or mercenaries, whatever they are, like it is, like he's like, I mean, the Kirby is clearly pulled this something over on them as well, but like, I don't know, that's where like a lot of the logic of this whole thing, because I can buy that Alan Grant might not run a background check on somebody. I feel like if you're an illegal arms dealer, you might check and make sure a check cashes before you get on a plane with somebody.
Yeah, so we meet these mercenary guys before they all board the plane, and we know they're super tough. I know it's not a bazooka. I just wanted the alliteration in the intro. It's some high-powered rifle. They shoot another plane. They're like, oh yeah, these guys can totally handle themselves. Which actually they can't, because 2 of them die almost immediately as soon as we get to the island. Comically quickly.
I love the first death. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, on this plane, when Dr. Grant falls asleep and he wakes up and it looks like there's no pilot, and he turns around and he's looking at this raptor and it goes, Alan.
What the fuck?
It's awesome.
It's Tammy and the T-Rex.
I love it so much. And like you said, it's like the
Mohawk.
The raptors
like
have little
punk rock emo kids.
It's feathers. It's feathers as a nod to, we have learned since the first movie that dinosaurs probably had feathers. So rather than covering them with feathers, which I think is kind of what they're supposed to be, we'll just put them on top in a mohawk.
We're going to acknowledge the science, but make it look even sillier than if we'd covered them in feathers.
They look like a punk rock band. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Give it time. They will.
It's absurd.
They'll have one.
Oh, God. I love that. I play just that 3-second clip so often because it makes me laugh so hard.
Alan.
All right, Dr. Grant is trying to be a good tour guide, so they're flying low enough that they can see these very shittily CGI rendered dinosaurs. This is bad. This is video game level bad.
It's the copy paste dino. This is where it's the worst.
Yeah. So they're looking down at fields of like you said, it's like fractals, just or tesseracts, copy paste, just a pattern. They're all running together, but it is so obviously fake. How does
it's
it
even
look
worse when they're running through the field, though. When they're running from the raptors and they're running through the field.
That might be the worst scene in the movie.
The camera work on that is insane, too. You can't tell what's happening.
We talk about bad green screen. I think it's worse in that scene because it's so clear that nobody in that scene is with those dinosaurs.
They have no idea. Alan, fall over. Just fall.
Roll. Stop, drop, and roll.
There's a million around you. Just act like you see them.
Oh, God. So they land, and immediately, Téa Leoni was done so dirty in this movie. She is the worst character.
Man.
She has almost no redeeming qualities.
Eric!
And she's got a bullhorn, and she's screaming for their son, and it is absolutely grating on my nerves.
She's got a really good heartfelt scene at the end.
we'll get to that.
Draws at your heartstrings.
But like literally, you've got like your main female, like really only female character, because I'm not even counting Laura Dern because she worked for 6 hours on this movie.
And then the Billy's eye candy, fossil candy
for 10 seconds. Yeah.
Honestly, the most intriguing female character in the whole film is the head raptor.
Yeah. Fact.
But yeah, it's just her screaming and having fits and people telling her to shut up the whole movie. So yeah, what a great female character. Love it. Yeah, our tough rescue team, not so tough anymore. I love that they immediately abandon this guy. And the other thing is, like, they've established that they have this heavy artillery, right? We hear a few gunshots. We definitely do not hear, like, that high-powered rifle going off. But it literally sounds like, I don't know guns, but, like, it doesn't sound like a, like, really, really heavy gunfire.
Yeah, like two shots.
They're shooting at something, and then suddenly these guys are running out like, oh my God, we gotta go, get in the plane. And they're like, I think his name is it Cooper? Or, I can't even, they're barely in it. Cooper or Nash. They're like, what about him? They're
Cooper's
like, he's a professional. He can handle himself. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, they went from highly trained professionals to fucking pussies real fast.
It's
like not even, they weren't on the island, what?
10
minute?
like 60 seconds they're on this island. So they're gonna leave this guy behind because fuck him, who cares? He steps out in front of the plane. He's just like, take me now. I'm not moving away from this plane. And then our antagonist of the movie, the Spinosaurus aegypticus, dashes out, grabs him. They try to lift the plane. It's not enough. And then they crash. So Spinosaurus aegypticus comes from, the fossils are found in Egypt in North Africa.
Cool.
And it's interesting that the first two movies are very much T-Rex and raptors, and I guess they were like, oh man, we gotta have a new dinosaur because we gotta sell some new toys or something.
Every film seems to be like, let's find a new one.
Yeah.
Dilophosaurus is still the best one. I don't care what anybody says. With the hood and spit, he's the best. Absolute best.
Actually, does that one come back in the Jurassic World movies? I can't remember.
Yes, he does make a cameo in one of the newer ones.
They couldn't get him for a full week. So
he's too expensive.
He's like Laura Dern.
He's available for a day.
He is the Robert Downey Jr. of Jurassic Park movies. Okay.
But one thing that I had not noticed about the logo for this movie, but the traditional Jurassic Park logo is the T-Rex fossil skeleton, and for this movie it's the Spinosaurus, which I guess
it really?
It is. I'd never noticed it until I kind of went back and
I think it's the
materials.
most distinct logo of all of the logos. It's like and even
with the slash.
Yeah, and all the color, at least on the original home video releases, like it's very leans into the silver, and like it does a. I don't know why. I'm not really sure what the theme is with the silver and red. Like there's nothing in the movie that signals to me like those colors are important, but in the branding, they branded it quite differently from pretty much all the rest.
So this dinosaur is, big like the T-Rex, but he's got arms that he can use, unlike the T-Rex. He's got a super long snout, kind of very crocodile-ish, and then a huge fin on the back. He's apparently a semi-aquatic dinosaur, so I guess that's what they were going for. Like, you can't hide in the water because he can come get you in the water.
It's weird though. Like he has a early battle sequence with the T-Rex, and they're trying to establish, that he's. Honestly, it feels like they're trying to make him be superior to the T-Rex.
Absolutely.
But they don't show him kill the T-Rex.
Oh yeah, they do.
Oh yeah, they do.
Do they?
He snaps its neck. Yeah. He bites its neck. Yeah.
Okay, man. I guess I just didn't pay close enough attention.
You zoomed out because that fight is fucking awful. Like they have animatronics of both of those.
Okay.
They have animatronics of both of them, and it'll swing from a really cool close up of the animatronics to like the most awful looking CGI slop fest fight that you've watched. Like,
see, I felt like they were showing them fighting, and then they kind of cut to the like humans running away and getting away, and then like he catches back up to them, but I never caught that the T-Rex was killed, and I was like, all right, so I guess they just fought for a minute. And we're like, all right, man, you go your way, I go mine.
Right when they start kind of running and getting chased by the Spinosaurus at some point, like the T-Rex lands near like Alan. I believe it's Alan.
Okay.
So speaking of that T-Rex, so you know they're running away from the Spinosaurus, like oh we made it, and then they come upon a pile of bloody bones carcass.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, don't worry, it's dead.
It's dead. Yeah.
The unintentional comedy of like the T-Rex is just like, hey there, how you doing? It just like pops up and it's got blood all over his mouth.
Pennywise the clown playing the T-Rex.
Hiya, Georgie. We all float down here.
That's amazing.
What's up, Alan?
And then he starts doing that dance like he does it in. Oh my god.
Oh, that's great.
Of course they all run. Alan Grant's like, don't move, because he knows that T-Rexes can't see, but of course they all run away, and then this is where the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus fight. Spinosaurus wins to it's clearly establish that he is the dominant threat on this island, I guess. We cut to William H. Macy getting shoved into the bushes, which made me laugh harder than it should.
He's totally wearing fake teeth in this movie too, right? Like, did they give him fake teeth to make him look richer?
I don't know.
I did not notice teeth.
Like, that was the first thing I noticed was, like, those teeth look completely fake, and they don't look like William H. Macy. And I feel like they did it to make him look rich, like a rich fake asshole. I don't know.
He's got like a weird... His mustache is also weird, I think. It's like cut too short, maybe? I don't know. So here's where we find out that, oh, whoopsie, yeah, he tricked, lied, misled... kidnapped, however you want to put it, Dr. Grant and his assistant, because they're actually there to find their son Eric. Paul and Amanda are divorced, and Kirby Enterprises is actually Kirby Paint and Tile Plus.
Honestly, I respect the Kirby Enterprises. That could be the LLC name.
Yeah. Another unintentional comedy. They find, the parasail stuck. And so they're like, oh, well, they're looking at the camera. Oh, you see they survived the crash. They can see that Eric was cut out. And then they're like, oh, we need to get this parasail down because we could use it for something, maybe a signal, because it's bright red or whatever. Mm-hmm. When the skeleton of Ben flies into Tiona, like her face.
This is her best performance of the movie.
I went back and watched it. She screams for 24 straight seconds. It is 24 seconds, which doesn't sound like a long time. It is a long time in a movie of like screaming and flailing. And I was like, I know it's disgusting and that was presumably her boyfriend, but this reaction is strange.
He decomposed pretty quickly too.
That's what was my thought. Yeah, that was my first thought. I was like, 8 weeks is a long time, but like
I'm guessing that maybe he's been picked apart.
Yeah, just
by other animals.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that would make sense. But I thought the same thing too. It's like he looks like he's been there longer than 8 weeks.
Those pterodactyls been by him, picking at him.
That's honestly my favorite sequence in the whole film is the birdcage. I think that's awesome.
Well, yes, that is the best sequence. That is actually legitimately pretty good there at the end.
But I love that she screams like the immediate I'd probably scream like a fucking banshee too if I had a bloody skeleton land in my face. But I might be pretty quick about giving up the screaming after like if I'm on an island full of dinosaurs and she's still screaming as she's like running
and the way she's running, she's like doing this weird run where she's like flailing her arms as she goes like a kid. It is so strange.
And I guess, attempting to find some groundedness to that. I mean, if you're just in shock, I mean, I guess maybe that's a reaction you'd have. But like in a movie, like you said, Allison, like that's a lot of time to sit and watch somebody scream.
She would not last in A Quiet Place.
I also laughed because, Paul, William H. Macy's character, they're like, go get her, like, go after her. He's like, okay. So he's hugging her and comforting her. And he's like, I'm so sorry about Ben. And she's like, it's not Ben. Like, fuck that guy. It's Eric. And I'm like, well, you just I don't know. Your reaction to the corpse of your boyfriend. And you're like, oh, actually, he doesn't matter. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I have
We're
a
here
hard
for my
time
son.
thinking, like, because I like what she says. Like, it's like she's more scared that their son is out there on the island. I think that's a really nice, touching thing. But I have a hard time thinking that's what entered your head when a bloody skeleton just hit your.
Right.
All right, and this is so they found raptor eggs, and there's that weird scene where Alan Grant's like, Billy, where's Billy? And then Billy's kind of like hovering behind. He's like, I was just taking pictures of the nest. Oh, that's not weird.
There's nothing in my bag.
I know, he's like zipping up his bag. So they find the abandoned research facility, which I don't even know his name. Udesky, Mr. Udesky, is like, oh, as far as I'm concerned, this is the Four Seasons. And what is it? Paul says, like, I bet Eric's there. I bet I bought him $1. And he's like runs down there. I'm like, what a weird line. But I think they're just trying to establish how nerdy he is, I guess. But it's it's
like
such
how hokey they are. They're from
Yeah.
like Nebraska or something, or Oklahoma.
Enid, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then
Is
the
this-
comedy.
Is this when she's checking out the tubes and the raptors behind
Yes.
the tube? That's actually kind of cool.
That was
I liked
cool.
that sequence. Like,
But
you
first, we got to stop at a vending machine for a snack.
Oh my
and
God.
Paul is, I'm like, there's no
Fucking loser, dude.
electricity in this facility, right? It doesn't look like there is. And he's trying to put coins in, and then Billy just like karate kicks. Which came out of nowhere and also made me laugh out loud. Unintentional comedy.
Anybody got $1?
But yeah, then we go into the room with, where they were doing research, and there's all these tanks filled with like dinosaur fetuses and whatnot. And, Téa Leoni comes up on that giant liquid tube, and you just see like the raptor's face is just kind of like hanging out there. And then you see its eye twitch, and of course it jumps up and immediately
awesome
starts
reveal.
chasing her. Yeah.
And it's a
Yeah.
cool set, and I think there's a lot of cool sets in this movie. We skipped over when they like have to get out of the airplane. I think that's that's another one of those scenes that reminds me of like an old disaster movie. Like that looks like it could be a ride.
That's
like
another
that,
one where, Téa Leoni, she looks in the window and sees the dinosaur there, and she starts screaming bloody murder again, which then the dinosaur's like, there's people in here. All she does in this movie is scream and run.
She's good at it. Oh, she looked at William H. Macy's underwear too.
yep.
Oh yeah.
She did. We did get a shirtless back.
Yeah. How much weight have you lost?
You look good.
You look good.
I didn't know you knew how to swim. Yeah, I learned. I took lessons.
Which is actually pretty. I didn't notice that the first time I watched it, but the second time I was like, oh, that's actually. I mean, it's stupid, but it's like it's funny that they mentioned that, and then cause it's pretty key later on.
Mm-hmm. The raptor starts chasing them. They get kind of trapped behind a door. And it's funny that, like, it's almost like you can literally see a cartoon light bulb appear over this raptor's head. Because he's just, like, trying to get to him, and he stops and goes, and then starts climbing. But, they push the door closed. They trap
That's
the
where
raptor.
Jurassic World was born.
Yeah. And he starts doing his, like, go, go.
Yeah,
Like,
is it
Alan
me or
Grant's
do
like,
these raptors sound completely different than they did in the first film?
It's a little bit different. We'll get into dinosaur sounds later for the bonus features.
Okay.
It's slightly changed, but it is like the same kind of bass noise of like this weird, like almost like they're coughing, kind of like. Caw! So Alan Grant's like, he's calling for help. And in my head, it's like, do you think the other raptors are like, oh, god damn it, Donnie got himself stuck again. We gotta go help him out. Like, fuck.
That motherfucker.
But as we see, the raptors are very smart because they attack Mr. Udesky. They wound him, but don't kill him. Leave him on the ground. And of course, they see Udesky moving. They're like, oh, we gotta go help him. And Téa Leoni, I don't even know what she like breaks a branch or trips or something happens. She's dangling from the tree. Here come the raptors, and they're jumping up trying to snap at her. They're like, oh yeah, they've set a trap because they want more fresh meat. Now we find this kid. One, I think the premise that the kid's been missing for 8 weeks is kind of preposterous.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's still living. What the fuck is he eating?
Now, if you were like, oh, he's been missing a week or whatever, I would find it more believable. But like,
that's my thing. Is like, it took like, okay,
took you 8 weeks to get there.
I was gonna say, ignore that the kid, like, okay, him surviving that long is crazy, but okay, maybe. Your fucking parents, where were you?
Well, they do make a comment like at some point when they, you know, are telling Dr. Grant like, LOL, we tricked you. That like they're like, they tried other options. We tried to get these people to help us. No one would help us. No one would help us. So I'm like, okay, I guess 7 weeks of.
Okay, let me put it to you. Let me put it to you this way. As somebody who has a child with another woman that I'm not currently seeing, and she has a significant other, and I also have a significant other, if either one of us said, hey, my girlfriend or your boyfriend is going to take our child without our supervision to go do something on a remote fucking island, that would never happen.
You have some contingencies.
Yeah. Like, you know, she's like, oh, hey, by the way, my boyfriend wants to take our daughter on a, you know, weekend vacation by himself, and they're going to go parasailing over this remote island without me being there. The fuck? No?
Yeah, it's no. never even established why or how they did that. Like, where were they? The
where
camera,
was she? Like,
the camera shows up, and they're on a beach, because you're watching this footage where like they're playing frisbee or something on the beach, and you hear Téa Leoni, so you're like, okay, she's there with them on whatever this beach is, which is clearly not Isla Sorna. But then, how close are they that the boyfriend takes the kid? Because I can't imagine that you could be that close to that island, because isn't it literally like in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah, I would think
purposely like, far away.
Like
from
that
everything.
That boat they were on wasn't getting them out that far.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
So we never really understand, and maybe they're like, it doesn't matter because we're keeping this movie to 92 minutes,
which is key, I think, to this conversation. Like, I think part of why me and Allison quite like this, as far as Jurassic Park movies go, is just it. You get in that boat from the beginning and you just go.
Yeah, see, you guys are like, well, who needs the plot points? We're just here for the absurdity and bring it on.
Right. I'm like, you're never going to come close to the original Jurassic Park, so at least, like, let's get to this quickly. And, like, let me see some dinosaurs quickly. Let me see somebody get killed quickly. And, I mean, they delivered, because they land on that island, and 60 seconds later...
someone's gone.
Someone's gone. All right, so Alan Grant gets separated during their escape from the research facility, and he is surrounded by raptors. Oh no, and then all of a sudden, all these smoke bombs just suddenly appear. Confuses the raptors. Okay, sure. And then what is this kid wearing? He's like Robinson Crusoe. He's got like a bandana tied around. Is he wearing like goggles or something? Like he's just dressed very strangely. Runs in, grabs Dr. Grant, and they go back to this turned over water truck where he's been living for the past 8 weeks. There's no way this kid would have survived 8 weeks.
I mean, what is he eating?
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like I could buy that he was just hiding under this truck for 8 weeks. I could, but yeah, like once you have to start foraging, and I mean, I guess he's living on Twinkies or whatever, sitting under that truck.
Grant is like eating out of a can. You don't even see what it is, but I'm like, is that just like meant to be like a can of beans or something? Which seems strange to have.
Even so, where did it come from, right? Like, I don't know. But who needs to know the in and outs of how he's actually surviving? You just need to know that he's been
apparently though. But apparently, I mean, that truck. I mean, shit. If it sounds like people are just going to this island left and right, there's probably people dying all over. There might be food all over that island.
Well, right. He makes some comment like, "Oh, they just up and left so quickly, and they left all this food. Are there any weapons? No. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just mad that we do not get to see any like guns against dinosaurs. They introduce it in the beginning, and then they just immediately take it off the board.
Allison's suddenly really pro gun again once she wants those dinosaurs gone.
If James Cameron had made this movie, we'd have had guns.
Wasn't a thing for Jurassic World, like Vincent D'Onofrio's character, he's like, overseeing, wasn't like one of the initial plans was that the velociraptors would have like guns strapped to them?
I believe so, yeah.
That sounds
Just
awesome.
like, which is literally an Austin Powers like
They're sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their frickin' heads. Yeah.
That's a hat on a hat thing right there.
All right, so this kid also claims he collected T-Rex pee. He won't say how. He's like, you don't want to know. I assume a T-Rex pissed and he went like puddle. Yeah, but I think we're meant to think like, oh, he's used this to keep away other predators. But he says, oh, the bad thing is like it attracts other T-Rexes. So I'm like, well, that seems like not a great trade-off, but okay. We get a very short cameo by the Compies, the little tiny dinosaurs that like hop around. That never comes to anything. The kid's like, oh my god, Compies, and closes the door real quick, and they just kind of like squeak and hop away, and they don't come back. Sure.
That's a classic sign of, oh, those existed. They were there definitely just to be toys.
Yep. Paul and Amanda reconnecting. When she says, I've had 3 car wrecks in 3 years, I was like, oh, Jesus. It just keeps getting worse for this character.
Not only is she hysterical, but she can't drive.
Yeah, right. Woo, ladies be driving. Crazy. So I do appreciate that they reconnect with Grant and the kid quickly. Like that's not drawn out. Again, we're 92 minutes. Okay, we're flying through this movie, but I'm glad that that wasn't drawn out. But laughing at the thing that brings them together is this shitty Nokia ringtone, like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And of course we've got to come back to an electric fence because let's revisit all the hits. And then they realize like, oh wait, like Paul doesn't have that phone. He gave it to Cooper, who was very clearly eaten by the Spinosaurus literally 60 seconds after we landed on this island. And when they turn around and that dinosaur is just like, I was like, did he tiptoe through the forest that they could not hear this monster walking up behind them? And he's just like, hey guys.
Didn't hear his footsteps, but they heard that ringtone.
They heard the ringtone.
That was a sign of the future right there, because you could be somebody in the same room with you and you never pay attention to them, but then the minute something buzzes, you'll...
But
that was prescient.
The look on that dinosaur's face is just pure hilarity to me. It's like, it's like he recognizes them and he's like, all right, it's showtime. They run along this fence, find a gap, get through. I was appalled that they stopped running so quickly because they're like, whew, yeah.
Yeah, we made it.
We made it. There's a fence there. Totally fine. Nope. Boom. Spinosaurus breaks through the fence like a wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
They run in from the outside. This building doesn't look that sturdy to me. I couldn't really tell. I think you're meant to not understand what it is from the outside because it's just kind of like, but I was like, really? Like, they're going to bolt this door and that's going to stop this beast from tearing up this building. But apparently it works because you like literally hear it like, kind of walk away like angrily. Okay, here's where we find out that, oh, shocker, Billy has stolen some raptor eggs. Dr. Grant reads him for filth here. He's like, you're no better than the people who started this island. And I was like, that's a little bit rough. But the whole premise of like, oh, let's get rid of these eggs. And he's like, but wait, what if the raptors think we have these eggs? What if we don't have them when they come back to us? And I'm like, so we're going to keep these eggs because we're going to negotiate.
Bargaining chip.
We're going to bargain.
Raptors.
We're going to bargain with these raptors, so I'll keep these eggs on me. Okay, fine.
This film is very, very, like,
dumb?
Almost, but like absurdly dumb and like trying to be like blatant with the plot points. Like they don't, they're like, here's raptor eggs. We are going to use these as bargaining chips at the end of the movie when we have to. Just so you know, this foreshadowing right here, okay?
Well, and it's funny though, because the whole
Don't forget
raptor,
about the raptor trumpet I've got in my backpack.
yeah, the whole raptor thing, that whole thing just exists. I mean, I guess it's because Alan's like has PTSD over the raptors, so it's like some form of connecting with that past and trying to tie up a loose end from the first movie, sort of. I guess is the point of it, but like. This movie could have been 70 minutes if you just took out all the raptor stuff. Like, it never... Like, all it does is just add to the adventure. It doesn't actually really do... You could have this entire movie play out without the raptor stuff, and it would be the same movie.
Yeah, you absolutely could. It is totally like a side quest. Okay,
it's so weird. They treat the audience like they're just complete idiots, though.
We are.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Okay, let's get to the best scene in the movie, and I'm being legit here, which is the scene in the aviary. So the building that they've gone into, which, you know, you can't really tell what it is from the outside. You can just kind of see that it's circular, and, you know, they're walking around. Billy's got his feelings hurt because Dr. Grant read him for filth a few minutes ago. They're climbing these stairs, and then suddenly there's all this mist, even though 5 minutes ago they were out in the bright sunlight running away from that Spinosaurus. Whatever. It makes for the best scene in the movie. They've got to cross this bridge. It's really rickety. We'll cross it one at a time. And it's such an unnecessary line, but, you know, Téa Leoni's like, oh my God, okay, I'm going to cross. I promise this is the last time I'm going to leave you. You know, she's so happy to have her son back. And he's just like, God, Mom.
I survived 8 weeks without you. I'll be okay for 2 minutes.
I think I can manage the next 2 minutes without you. And I'm like...
And then William H. Macy's like...
Subtle.
Proud of you, boy.
Yeah, also, what a dick. So, and Dr. Grant grabs what I presume is... These are pteranodons. They're not pterodactyls. Pteranodon shit from a railing. It's white and it's crusty, and he picks it up, and it's just like, oh God, he just picked up bird shit.
So they're not pterodactyls?
No, they're pteranodons.
What's the difference?
Fair, okay.
They just look differently. When you compare them side by side, they're just structurally a little bit different. But like the scene of the kid, he's crossing the bridge, his mom's on the other side, and then you kind of hear that like thump, and then the pteranodon coming out of the mist was genuinely scary. Like just such a good, like, you know, something's there, but it's something new, something you haven't seen before, and the way it's got its wings folded up, they look like almost like weapons, like swords or something, and it's got this like enormous long pointy beak. It's just really terrifying. So this pteranodon is like, all right, I got food for my kids. Grabs this kid, drops him off in a nest full of tiny little pteranodons that are just
champing at the bit.
Like it is almost hilarious. They're just like jumping all over him.
Yeah, that kid had some wounds. Like he had like blood on his face.
He's like he's being pecked to death. And I guess it's like that's what the compies did in original Jurassic Park, and you know we have a cameo from the compies, so I'm like, I guess we need another cute little tiny terrifying dinosaur to like rip someone limb from limb. So let's do these.
This was the only scene I'd mentioned, or I think I'd mentioned maybe back when the movie got drafted, or maybe on last week's episode, that this was the only movie before Jurassic World that I'd ever seen. Before, when Jurassic World came out, I watched the original before that, so I'd seen it, and then I saw Jurassic World, and then I saw the sequel. This was the only one I'd ever seen prior to it, so this was the only, for 20 plus years, this was the only Jurassic Park movie I'd ever seen. And this was
sorry.
This was the only scene I remembered. Like, when I would think about this movie, this was the only thing in my head was the pterodactyls, or the pterodon scene. So, like, I think that just by itself maybe speaks to, like, how impressionable it was on people.
And it is by far the best sequence in the film.
Yeah. It's also, when it comes out of, I mean, we've talked about The Mist before, right? The Stephen King adaptation. But even the kind of the design of the creature is almost mist-like. Like, it just kind of like the way it just comes out, and it's so shocking. But earlier in the film, I can't remember what Billy said, but he made some allusion to like being into like hang gliding or paragliding or some sort of extreme sport. And that's where he talks about, like, oh, my lucky strap, like, got attached to a rock ledge and saved my life. So then he decides, well, I'm an extreme sport expert, so I'm going to, like, open up this parasail and save this kid. This is preposterous. But it is, I do think it's fun. It's extremely stupid, but I thought this sequence was fun. And, like, he's, like, flying and controlling it and telling the kid, like, you got to jump. And, you know, the kid jumps and he catches him midair, and here they go. Those pteranodons are not giving up. Billy's presumed death, I think, is pretty brutal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, first of all, Téa Leoni sucks again because she doesn't close the door all the way, so the rest of the pteranodons get out, and so the whole family's like, fuck it, we're gonna go get this kid and this guy. But whenever they, like, knock him down, or when he cuts himself and goes in the water, and they are just, like,
holding him underwater, pecking at him, ripping him to pieces.
Yes. And I was like, there is no way this guy should live.
It's
but
criminal.
in the back of my mind, I'm like, of course he's going to reappear at the end.
Yeah, his backpack's going to save him again.
But he should not be alive.
Yeah, no, I was like, damn, that's pretty brutal death for the Jurassic Park movies. Like,
and for a good guy, like a protagonist, like somebody who, because a lot of times it's just like,
well, honestly, it was like his redeeming arc. Like, oh, he made a mistake, he fucked up, he saved the kid's life, and sacrificed himself, and all right, cool. You know?
Well, it makes the whole Alan thing, too, like, because he, like, has immediate regrets after this. Like, man, the last thing I said to him was, like, he was basically a piece of shit. And,
when, you know, he just wanted to experience dinosaurs in real life.
Yeah, he was like a thrill
sure as hell did.
And like, I think that just rips that whole emotional weight.
Isn't it interesting that some of the... So, in this movie, that the pteranodon presumably killing Billy, I think is, well, the what's the other mercenary's name? Not Cooper, not Udesky.
Oh, Nash.
The other guy who's in the plane when they crash, and the Spinosaurus grabs him and pulls him out. That death is also pretty brutal.
Does it really matter what his name is? We're talking about a film that they had the
also, he's a black man, so we got to kill him off early. I guess. This was that era of filmmaking.
Pretty much.
Well, yeah, and he was. I love that scene. That's I don't know that it's the best, but that might be my favorite scene in the movie, just because of how, again, it's kind of got that old school kind of disaster film kind of quality to it. But he's like pulling on Téa Leoni's, like, her leg. He's basically like trying to drag her with him. Like, man, that could have saved us a lot of screaming.
He's like, this bitch started screaming and drew its attention, so she is going down with this ship. But yeah, this death with Billy, not death, but you know, is really brutal.
Sure looks like one.
Do you remember the babysitter getting killed in Jurassic World, and how I think it's a pterodactyl, right? It's a different flying dinosaur.
Yeah, she snatches it.
And like, I think kind of the consensus is just like, oh my god, her death is brutal. Like, she's being tossed around by different pterodactyls, and then she gets chomped by the whale, the thing that comes out of the water, right? Mosasaurus. And it seemed so strangely out of place in that movie, but I read that, like, that actress had asked for her to have, like, a very memorable death scene. I'm like,
that's awesome. If you're gonna kill me, you better fucking kill me right, okay?
Like, yeah, respect.
Make them know I'm dead.
Yep. There is no coming back from that one. All right, here's our jungle cruise.
Ooh, I took it as Anaconda.
Yeah, I guess
like Anaconda. When they're on the boat in Anaconda, that's what it reminded me of.
But the thing that all of these movies try to do, and I just don't think you can do it any better than the original. And maybe it's because I saw the original in theaters in '93, and like I was that perfect age and like that sense of wonder. But like, you know, we're gonna pause for a moment, and we're all gonna just like look in awe at these dinosaurs, and oh my god, it's so impressive.
It's never been as good as the
They're so bad.
They're so bad. The CGI is so shitty.
God.
And I'm like, you cannot compete with that scene of
from the first film.
From the first
when they're in the
of
field,
Laura Dern like coming up out of the Jeep, and, like Sam Neill's like got his glasses and
when the
crazy part
about
time, that. Go ahead,
I think that's the first time that the cue too, like the music,
the score,
like comes in, and it's like, what a shitty way to deploy that for the first time.
It
in
is
the movie.
so it's so bad too because like the is it I guess the long neck is with the Bronchiosaurus, right? Like they look terrible. The best looking dinosaurs are the Stegosauruses crawling out of the water at the very bottom of the screen, and they look decent. The Bronchiosauruses look terrible, and then at the end, Bronchiosaurus like leans down, looks
It's his
over.
face.
He looks
Look
like
up
he's
at his
about
face.
to eat them.
I know.
And then they just transition. Like, all right, cool. We showed that part. On to the next. Like, what?
The other thing is
So
like
weird.
that whole scene, like in the original, they're looking at a field of is it Brachiosaurus in the original? It's all the same dinosaur. And here we've just got this perfect. It's like there's a man and a woman dinosaur. Just there's all these pairs of different dinosaurs, and I was like, would these dinosaurs really all hang out together on this riverbank? It's just a weird choice.
Yeah, we're all going to go clubbing later.
Okay, so we're going to revisit some more hits, and there's not just one giant pile of shit. There are 6 piles of shit by the coastline, and of course they hear the little Nokia ringtone.
They're steaming piles of shit.
They're
Like,
literally
it's
steaming piles of shit.
Perfect representation for this movie, once again.
Because in the
All right, I'm
original,
sorry.
at least Laura Dern, she's got gloves on up to here.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
But they're getting into it with their bare. It's so gross. It's so
He grabs a
disgusting.
poop phone out and puts it next
he
to
puts
his
it
mouth.
He does. He's just like, oh, let me wipe it off a little bit. It's fine.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
Laura
raining.
Dern.
It's okay. The water will get the poop off.
Hey, you know what? That's a true scientist adventurer right there. You just, no fucks given.
So then we have a cameo by the first time I watched this, I thought it was another T-Rex. It's not.
Nope.
It's a Ceratosaurus, which has got the red face and then the
He looks
rhino
terrible
horn.
too.
And he looks terrible, and he just looks up and is like, and walks off. 'Cause,
GTFO.
again, yeah, you're to presume like he knows that Spinosaurus shit, which I don't know what that Spinosaurus ate. I guess Cooper gave him indigestion to have 6 massive piles of shit that are perfectly lined up.
Hey,
in rows.
humans don't come around often, so your body's not used to it.
Oh my god. I get very annoyed by precocious children in movies, and so this whole scene of like Ellie's
kid watching Barney
answers the phone.
That's so
And he's
stupid.
just-
I love it.
bro.
and he's watching Barney and he's getting distracted, and Alan I guess has the forethought to be like, I'm the dinosaur man. And he gets through to this kid.
Yeah, but even then, like they're like, "Oh, be careful! There's like no battery life left on it," and somehow, like the kid just dilly dallies for 10 minutes before Laura
He's
Dern
like
gets
holding the phone and like dancing to Barney. But,
Yeah.
Put a lot of faith in a 3 to 5-year-old.
yeah.
There's a world where he just walks out of the Barney and never makes it outside.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so we're gonna end this movie with this big water set piece, which is
It's pretty good.
yeah. I don't think I've mentioned this to y'all before. I get very stressed out watching scenes of people like trapped in water, like I can't remember which
Fair.
Mission Impossible it is where Tom Cruise learned to hold his breath for like 6 minutes because he's in that turban.
Yeah, that's the
flailing
Dead
around.
Reckoning Part 1, I believe.
Oh my god, it's upsetting to me. Like thinking about people not being able to breathe and drowning. So like this, I was very tense during this scene because the way that, Dino's smart. He's like, I'm going to knock this cage off into the water. Dr. Grant just happens to get the phone. Ellie's calling him back and he screams, or what is it? Riverbank Site B.
Yeah.
Right before they go under.
Basically, hey, here's where my body's going to be.
But like that cage, like kind of coming down on them. And then like Téa Leoni should be dead at this point. I mean, she's like kind of trapped in that cage.
They are holding their breath entirely longer than I ever could. I'll tell you that right
absolutely.
there.
What's the longest you guys have ever held your breath that you recall?
2-3 minutes, maybe? I don't know.
We had a pool growing up and it was 36 feet. And I used to be able to swim I think 3, maybe 4 times back and forth. I don't know how long that is. It might have been about 2 minutes.
Whatever that was, I was able to do it at some point, but there's no way now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not. I get out of bed in the morning and I can barely breathe. at my advanced age. Try to hold my breath for 10 seconds. I will say, also, I laugh because I'm like, Laura Dern is literally phoning in her performance here. Because this is the second time we see her, and it's her on a phone.
Phoning it in. That's great.
Yeah,
That's so good.
absolutely phoning it in. I will say, I think earlier in the scene we were making fun of the Spinosaurus and the T-Rex fighting because it looked so bad, and it absolutely did. And I think part of it was because that was in daylight.
Yeah.
And just the Spinosaurus looks much better here with the rain and the
with
darkness.
the rain and the lighting
covering,
and the
a multitude of mistakes. And
CGI.
It doesn't look as
especially
CGI
at this
either.
time.
It looks a lot more animatronic.
Well, they probably are using a lot of the animatronic too in this scene of the Spinosaurus. But yeah, even the CGI, like, it's just so clear. I mean, even today, like, it's as good as it's gotten in some respects. It's still so much. A lot of stuff still looks so much better at night.
Okay, so prime example. I'm going to go on tangent here. Pacific Rim, a movie I love. I love Pacific Rim so much. All the action happens at night, and just the look of the kaiju, the look of the oh my god, what are the robots called?
The Jaegers.
Jaegers. And then in Pacific Rim Uprising, a movie I like to pretend doesn't exist because it's not good. Everything happens in daylight, and they look like shit.
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro didn't direct that one, so it didn't count.
And he didn't direct it, so the same care was not given to the look of the monsters and the robots.
Today we are canceling the apocalypse!
So William H. Macy decides to be a hero here, climbs on this crane thing to distract the Spinosaurus. It works. And we see a shot of somehow a gasoline can got punctured. So you're like, shit's about to go down. Dr. Grant grabs a flare gun, shoots it at the dinosaur, and it hilariously goes up in flames.
Because you have the gas leak.
Kill it with fire, literally.
Yep.
And, gasoline floats on water, so you've just got this whole thing lighting up, and the Spinosaurus is, like, flailing around, and finally it's like, fuck this shit, and just runs back into the forest. And this is where, Slate, do you want to describe the emotional resonance of this scene? Because we think William H. Macy's dead.
Yeah, it's amazing. You have just this heartfelt moment where Téa Leoni is like, oh my gosh, my son's life has been saved. We've all been saved. Paul sacrificed himself for us. And of course, like the whole movie, they're hinting at them like getting back together. And so she lets out a, Paul, you asshole!
You jerk.
You can't leave me like this! And he turns right around immediately and he's right there and he's like, I'm not going anywhere. I saved the day. And
it is,
we talked about it in the
strange.
group chat. It's so cheesy and bad, and we talked about it in the group chat, and I legitimately think that they got the dailies back from this sequence, and they were trying really hard to make it like this long, drawn-out, dramatic, like she's crying, upset, like here's our emotional beat that we've been waiting for this whole film, and she can't deliver it, and they're like, we better turn this into something humorous quick.
We gotta flip the script.
We gotta pivot.
And it makes the whole, I mean, we're going to get to it, but like Billy being alive still, like, it's like, well, so you had 2 fake outs in the last 5 minutes, 7 minutes of this movie. Like, come on. Like one of these good guys has to die. Like,
this movie has no stakes. There's no emotional value to any of the characters that die. There's really no emotional value to the ones that live either, other than Sam Neill from the previous film.
So. Udesky's the only person in this movie who has any, like, because you kind of start like
connection.
Yeah, have
at
like
all.
You at least build a connection with him because he lives a decent amount of time, but that's it. Like he's the only person that has that you feel bad for.
They're all just brought on to be dino fodder,
Yeah, it's so.
And
weird.
nothing compares to I wish we were talking about the original Jurassic Park. Honestly, I keep coming back to it, but the lawyer getting killed on the toilet.
Yeah,
chef's kiss, because you've been with him the whole movie. You're like, oh my god, this guy's kind of a jerk, but he's there for a reason, right? Like he's warning about all the things that could go wrong with this park. But like when he gets killed, it is like one, it's hilarious, but two, brutal, and that leaves those kids alone.
Even with, I mean, I don't remember his name in the movie, but I guess you would call him Newman from Seinfeld, you know, the big fat guy that gets killed by the Dilophosaurus. You spend a good quality amount of time with him in the first film. Like, there's none of that in this movie.
And you at least kind of understand his motivation. Like, you're understanding that he's just like this, like, you know, kind of mistreated worker. He doesn't feel like he's getting his, like, you
Right.
get it, at least, even if you don't agree with it.
Right. And he really has a really cool shave cream bottle.
It never shows up again.
Okay, so at this point, surely you're thinking, wow, this movie must be over. But sadly, it is not, because it is
We need
time
more
to,
raptors.
It is
Remember
time
the
to
eggs?
negotiate with some raptors.
He drives a hard bargain.
So they're all surrounded, and Dr. Grant's like, oh, we need to be submissive. Okay. So they all kind of get on their knees, and they think Téa Leoni has the eggs. Why not? She's just been screaming and running the whole movie, so why not put all this on her? But whenever she, like, takes the eggs and kind of, like, gently slides them through the sand, and then Dr. Grant gets out his little raptor trumpet and starts blowing. And I thought...
How does he know what he's doing?
Right. And I was like, it's like whenever I talk to my cats all the time, different meows, and I'm like, in my head, I have a meaning behind what I'm doing, and I'm like, I wonder if they understand what I'm saying, or if, like, I could be saying something really offensive to them and not realize it.
You're a filthy little shit.
No wonder why the cat just got you. Just paw slap.
It was just like, he has no idea what he's doing. And, like, they tell him, like, he makes some noise, and then they're like, no, act like you're calling for help. So then he starts doing the,
And then the animatronic raptor,
he's like,
it's like completely shocked. Like, it's like, it speaks our language.
Not only that, but they're like he's trying to sneak the eggs out of his bag to her without the raptors noticing, and it's like clearly right in front of their face. It's so preposterous.
It is preposterous. And, like, this scene
They're smart,
this
they're
scene
not
is totally,
observant.
like you said,
Right.
Josh, the scene is totally unnecessary. This whole side plot is just
It
completely
really,
unnecessary.
you said side quest earlier. That's really what this whole thing was.
It also feels weird that that's what happens, like, after the big thing.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like they should have been reversed, right? Like, you come across the raptors one more time, and then you wrap that up, and then you deal with the Spinosaurus.
And again,
last,
it's just, I guess it's just because of the Alan thing, like him being traumatized. Like, that's the only, like, rational thing to explain the, like, why the raptors are even in this movie, is, like, to help him overcome some trauma, I guess. I mean, it's like, it's not something the movie itself really reckons with. But
Is he really traumatized by him? Because, like, Alice
Because he was
and
he
the
was
show
like real,
notes, he's
he was
horny,
real horny
for
for him.
raptors. So
Yeah, they're on his mind a lot based on the first 10 minutes.
He's dreaming about him. I mean, Alan.
Maybe that's where he learned how to speak to him. He's dreaming in raptor.
Oh God! Oh my God! Let's finish this movie.
okay.
So the
this
raptors,
podcast is going to be longer than the film.
He has it genuinely will be. He has tricked these raptors. They run off. We go to the beach. There's a guy with a bullhorn standing by himself.
Yeah.
Of course, they're like, "Oh my God, don't do that!" It's a call back to Téa Leoni with the bullhorn at the beginning, and then somehow the entire U.S. Marine Corps and Navy sneak up on them.
And Navy SEALs.
And I think the connection is Ellie had said, the in the beginning, my husband worked for the State Department, something international affairs, and I think we're meant to be like, oh, this guy's got connections, and that's
he called in a favor.
He called in a favor to the Marine Corps and the Navy SEALs to come rescue them.
Yeah, can you send some tanks out to?
Yeah, storm the beaches of Normandy.
Right, that's like just like come up out of the water under the beach.
It's like that had to be an expensive shot too. Like there's like that was a like
that's a very Michael Bay
practical
thing to do right there. Like, give me the newest military technology for
How
this
many
one
tanks
scene.
you got standing by right now?
Yeah. Get me a ferry or an aircraft carrier and let's get these out there.
You think Joe Johnston was like calling Spielberg, hey, so could you pull a couple strings? They really want.
He
some
was a
military
producer on the
stuff."
movie. There's like in some of the behind the scenes stuff, he's on set talking to Johnston. So it's like, I'm sure he wasn't very hands on with this, but he was pulling whatever strings he needed to. Him and
Spielberg
Kathleen Kennedy.
was making AI, directing AI at the same time as this
Which-
was being filmed.
I'm glad you brought that up because this is I think our 9th episode, I don't recall, but we didn't draft that movie. It hasn't even come up in any of our conversations yet. And
it's utterly forgettable.
It's going to have to be
I was going to say,
I've never watched it
that
either,
movie.
but I think it has to be a bonus episode. It's something we have to figure out a way to work it into the schedule.
Josh, you're gonna make me watch more shitty movies.
Really, Josh? Like, what is up with you?
He just keeps giving me more homework to do.
I think most people like that movie. Am I crazy?
I've never heard anybody mention that movie.
I think that movie is like just kind of a footnote.
It's 76% on Rotten Tomatoes.
We could go out and knock on people's doors out here and ask them if they've seen AI, and they'd be like, "What the fuck you talking about?"
7.2.
So you're telling me the 4 people that watched it rated 3 of them liked it.
Three of them liked it.
It has a 64% user rating with 250,000 ratings.
Shut up, Josh.
Yes. Let's finish this movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's where they get on the helicopter. Oh my God, Billy's alive! Can you even believe it?
Yeah,
Stupid.
It's like they actually.
I genuinely hate this because his arc is he redeems himself. He has a brutal death, and it is preposterous for him to survive.
It makes William H. Macy's character living look worse by a result, and it actually kind of reeks to me almost of, because of how it's shot and framed. It's almost like a test screening insert. Like they filmed it and they had it on standby, and people told them, "Man, I wish Billy had lived," and like enough people said it that they decided to change it.
That is absolutely what it feels like. Yeah. Okay. This movie finally ends. So my genuine thought, like they're trying to. So they're flying out, and then we see the pteranodons. We let them out of their bird cage. So they're roaming the island. Which I was,
and we just let them fly away and just head to civilization.
So it's almost like a callback to the original trilogy when they're leaving, and he looks out and he sees a bird, and he's kind of thinking dinosaurs, birds, ancestors, whatever, and that's supposed to be the connection. And here it's actual dinosaurs, and I guess we're supposed to find this majestic. But they're filming these dinosaurs from behind. I thought maybe I was just being a pervert here, but I was like, why do these flying dinosaurs have ass cheeks?
Yeah.
And why are we focusing on their ass cheeks as they fly away?
Hey, but Batman had nipples.
The podcast I listened to, they pointed out the same thing. They were just like, why are we looking at their flexing asses?
Yeah.
As they're flying? It's such a weird shot.
They're just real muscular. They're real.
They are.
They've been doing
all I know is the military in 2001 would have shot them son of a bitches down immediately.
Also true.
Well, so I'm glad you brought that up. I overlooked this when the whole plane crash thing happened. This movie came out in July. September, something happened a few months later. There's the whole start of this movie, I think, is different if it came out. Like, they may have delayed this movie if September 11th, if it had been scheduled for December.
Because of the plane crash?
I literally think they either would have bumped the movie to 03 or something, or they would have reshot the whole thing with a boat. I legitimately think that if this had been scheduled for November of 2001, I almost certainly that they would have changed that whole thing. Because the whole first part of the movie is like a plane crash. And people were just so tied up about that stuff at the time, it was such a big event.
Well, we end on Pteranodon ass cheeks. Anything else to say about this ending?
It ending on ass cheeks is appropriate, honestly.
I could have just ended with the steaming piles of shit.
It just cuts back to the eye. It just slowly fades into black.
We have shit on the movie a lot, but I don't think it's it is a bad movie, but it's not bad in like you can't watch it. I do think it's fun. Like if it is a theme park ride. That's what it like. That's after the first one. Again, I've not seen Lost World, so I can't speak to that. But of the ones I've seen, they're theme park rides after the first one. And so, what I like about it that I've said in our group chat is this is 90 minutes. I was looking at the run times. I've seen the first two Jurassic Worlds. I've not seen the last two. But one of them is like a 2 hour, like 150 some minutes long.
Dominion is really long.
It is a whole hour longer than this movie.
Oh God! Yes, that's the one that I kept falling asleep trying.
I kind of like Dominion. I saw it at the drive-in and I dug it.
It just seems like, because to me, once you start getting to even to 2 hours, but especially 2.5. What are you doing? Like, you're just stuffing, at that point you really are with something like this, just stuffing it with things. At that point you are probably just like trying to flesh out things to a point where like, because there's like a balance with something like this. And I think unless you're trying to do what the first one's doing, which is like a really great drama thriller, it stands apart from the rest of what it spawned, And I think if you're trying to flesh out and kind of, again, because the World trilogy is a little different because you have one character throughout who's kind of the frame and you're building a relationship with that person, but like nobody's there, no one cares that, I mean, people might like Chris Pratt and like they're there to see him, but they just want to see dinosaurs, like Allison said earlier. They want to see dinosaurs kill people. That's what we're in these movies for, especially after the first one. And like just at some point though, if you're doing that for 2.5 hours, you're just getting bored, I think. I mean, but again, I'm in the minority apparently on that because these movies make a killing. Like they're making more and more money. I mean, I think the last one did, kind of tamper down a little bit, but compared to most of the box office, they're still cranking out tons of money for these movies.
We could segue into my bonus feature. A thing that I almost went with was to talk about movie runtimes and how they've changed. But I decided ultimately not to because the first two Jurassic Worlds are a little long, but they're not excessively long. It isn't until Dominion that it's like excessively long. But I do think it's interesting that I had always heard or understood when I was younger that studios preferred movies that were like 2 hours, maybe less, because you could show the movie more and make more money during the day because you could, rotate through. And people who tried to come out with 2.5 hour, 3 hour movies were often, they were convinced to like, you got to cut it down. This is too long. We're not going to make enough money. People aren't going to sit through it. And it seems to be the total opposite now. Everybody has to have a 3 hour movie. And believe me, there are not a lot of movies that deserve to be 3 hours. We were in our group chat earlier. I was like, Christopher Nolan can get me in a theater for 3 hours, for example. But just Transformer movies and all these like that should be just kind of fun, mindless summer blockbusters do not need to be that long. Like get us in, show us some crazy shit happening, and get us out. And that is what I'll consider to be a pro of this movie, is it's short. I mean that genuinely, I'm not being sarcastic, but like they don't waste time. You've understood what this world is about. To Slate's point, who needs plot? Who needs character background? Because we just want to see dinosaurs killing people.
100%. The only downside, like, because you can also probably do this movie without any of the legacy characters. It's almost like a disservice to them, probably. Like, you don't need Alan Grant. You don't need Laura Dern's character, Ellie. You don't need them. I guess it adds something to the movie that they're there. But you could have done, like, this movie is like
without Alan Grant, they would have
less.
died in like 2 seconds. The movie would have been over in 10 minutes. You kind of do need him.
And then we wouldn't have got the dream sequence of the raptor speaking to him.
Fair.
All right, but what I did decide to go with for my bonus feature, I had so many ideas and I really struggled with narrowing it down, but was the sound design. So I consider these sort of monster movie adjacent. We're there to see the dinosaurs and see them, rip shit up. So sound design is a crucial part of kind of evoking, a sense of fear, of awe, of wonder for, whatever your creature is. And given that Jurassic Park 3, the side quest hinges on raptor speech, I was like, let's pause to take a moment to appreciate the work that goes into giving these fake animals a voice. And, you know, I was kind of reading up about it, and, you know, no one...
Are you saying that raptors never existed, Allison?
I'm not saying they never existed. I'm saying that, like, you know, it's not like you can go out and, like, record a raptor yell or screech or chirp. You know, the scientists can speculate, and I posted some links to some interesting articles about, you know, based on their skeletons and anatomy, we would think that they would, you know, sound like this, but no one's ever actually
no fucking clue.
Heard the vocalizations. So for the purpose of a movie, sound design's got to come up with, like, well, what seems like it could be realistic, but also play up for, like, movie magic purposes. So for one of the articles, I think it's the Montreal Science article I posted, was, like, saying that, like, T-Rexes wouldn't roar based on what they know of them. They described it as, like, if you close your lips and you hum really hard, like, they would expect that would be the sound they'd make. And it may not even be audible by human ears, but you would feel it, like, in your chest, like that vibration and rumbling. But, like, that's not very cinematic. So I looked up, like, let's compare. And I posted these links here. I don't know if y'all want to, like, take a listen to them for comparison.
Yeah, and I'll play them. I'll play them for the listener. So first
of all, the Spinosaurus roar from this movie was created from the roars of lions, tigers, crocodiles, a baby bear's cries of distress, and what they considered kind of a raspy bird call. Our original T-Rex, OG T-Rex from Jurassic Park, created with tiger roars, high-pitched baby elephant squeal, and a low alligator rumble. And I think the elephant squeal is, like, you can definitely hear that in the roar. For the Velociraptor. Okay, back to the chirping. The That's the sound of tortoises mating.
Nice.
And I posted a link. I found a video of a tortoise trying to mate with a shoe.
Oh my god.
And it's the most similar. Obviously they've modulated it and kind of done some effects on it, but I was like, this is the closest. But yeah, this is the sound that the raptors make. The raptor screeching sound, a male dolphin in heat. The heavy breathing sound is a horse snorting, which I absolutely recognized. I grew up on a farm. I grew up with horses. Like when the raptors are like kind of doing that. It is 100% a horse sound.
I'm just now watching the tortoise fucking a shoe.
Put that in the show notes.
It's gold. It is gold. Oh, God. Okay. Raptor hissing was an angry goose, which, do y'all know that geese are like assholes?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get me started on geese. We could have a 10-minute conversation about them. Let's save that one for another day. But yes, fuck geese.
So we're moving on to Jurassic World trilogy. So the Indominus Rex, which is the kind of engineered apex predator,
dinosaur.
Fake dinosaur, not real at all. Squealing pigs, leopards, a fennec fox's scream, which I linked to because it's very distinct. And a howler and macaque monkeys. Okay, I had to write the pronunciation of this dinosaur. I can't remember which Jurassic World movie he appears in. The Giganotosaurus. Mules, stallions, an elderly lioness named Daisy, and alligator growls. And then I've linked to a couple of articles here from, scientific not weird blogs, but, actual, like, legit sources. The Montreal Science Center, the Carnegie Museum of Natural History, BBC's Discovered Wildlife. I think those are interesting reads. I also found this 30-minute interview with the sound engineer for the original Jurassic Park, Gary Rydstrom. Talks about his work in the original movie. It's like 30 minutes long, but I kind of put it on as a podcast in the background, and I thought it was really interesting to hear him talk about kind of their concept and how they had to come up with these sounds, and they're not sounds that anyone's ever heard before, so it was like such a challenge to figure out how to mix and match and make them appropriate.
That'll be cool. So, we'll make sure all that's in the show notes for the...
So I am going to say, out of all the big dinosaur roars, the kind of the big famous ones that I linked to, the original T-Rex to me is still the most terrifying. It's that baby elephant squeal that kind of like it starts low and goes really high pitched, and it just almost hurts your ears.
Yeah, you can't. To me, the T-Rex is. I mean, maybe it's because it's so hard for me to separate it from the visual, because I still think the T-Rex also is the best looking. Like the original T-Rex is also the best looking dinosaur. It's the sound. I mean, it just sounds. I mean, they're all effective, I think, in what they're trying to do. But yeah, in terms of like something that I would be terrified of, IRL.
That T-Rex is iconic, like in the sense that I could have my eyes closed and you could play the clip of him, whatever you want to call it, roaring, whatever, and you immediately know that's the T-Rex from Jurassic Park.
And it's also like in the original, at the very, very end, one of my favorite scenes at the end of the original Jurassic Park, which again, I wish we'd spent 2 hours talking about it. But they escape from the visitor center.
Yeah.
That when dinosaurs ruled the earth banner starts to fall. And then he just like rises up and does this big roar right in front of that banner because he's fought off the velociraptors. I was like, this is it's beautiful. I love it. Exquisite. It's like a triumphant roar.
As Eric, that's the kid's name, right? Eric. Mm-hmm. As Eric says when he's talking to Alan in his little bunker, I like the first one more.
And then he also shits all over Ian Malcolm's book, which is kind of funny. All right, so does this movie matter?
Yes, I think this is the easiest one we've had so far.
I don't know. I don't think it really does. I think it kind of killed the franchise until when did World come out? Is that 2014?
2012, 13. No, yeah, probably 14 or 15, right?
If only we had a thing that could look this up for us.
Yeah, IMDb.
I'm almost positive it was.
While you're looking that up, Allison, I'll make the case for why it doesn't matter. Because
2015.
2015, okay.
So 14 years.
I tend to be there with you because to me, this film is exactly what we despise about Hollywood in the sense that it's a money grab. There's no real emotional connection other than the nostalgia of the first film. There's no risk taken in this movie. The effects aren't great. The performances aren't great. People seem to only be doing it for the money. It doesn't add anything. Awesome. It doesn't add anything. Like, it doesn't add anything to the series, the franchise. Like, you could cut this entire movie out and still, like, I don't see where it matters. Like, I really don't. It's enjoyable. That doesn't mean it matters.
I'll agree with that. I don't think it adds anything. It's a fun romp if you turn off your brain for 92 minutes and just kind of...
It's a heartless movie.
But see, everything you're saying about like cash grab, cashing in on nostalgia is how I feel about the entire Jurassic
I think that's
World
how
trilogy.
I think that all applies to Jurassic World, and I think that's part of it.
And there's some like good things in Jurassic World 1 and good scenes, but like ultimately that I don't know. And like they were trying to be meta and making jokes about like the original, like Jake Johnson's in there, like, I got the original Jurassic Park shirt, and I was like, I feel like I'm being pandered to and I do not care for it.
It's weird though because I feel like those movies add more to the storyline and the concept of like what Jurassic Park is.
They do come up with like new concepts and new ideas.
Well, yeah, and even then, like they tie it back to the original, as preposterous as it is with the clone girl who's in Dominion, and that they kind of spin it all off of. They tie it back to the first film, and it adds to that movie in the sense that we didn't know that there was like an extra partner there that. They had a disagreement and then kind of separated and went their own ways, and it was all based off of her. Like, so it adds to the storyline of the nostalgia from the first film, and it does it in a creative way that still, like, gives you this extra branch off. I just felt like there was a lot more effort put into it than shoehorning shit. Does that make sense? Like,
Have you seen Rebirth, the one that came out this summer?
I've seen most of it. I haven't finished it, but it's enjoyable. It's a lot like this film in the sense that it's like, it feels like it's almost like a new modern version of this film, but I do enjoy it. But I'm also a sucker for Scarlett Jo. God, I love her.
Yeah, so I think I actually really enjoyed her in that movie. And like they give them at least what I would consider kind of a legit reason to go back to East of Sorna. And that is like, we discovered that like something in these certain dinosaurs, like blood, can help generate new pharmaceuticals.
So is it this island that they go back to in... Is
it Sorna or Nublar? I can't remember.
That I don't know. I can pull that up,
but it is very much like 3 in that like, okay, we're gonna, mercenaries, hired some mercenaries going back to the island, but this time they're going to get the blood of certain dinosaurs to take back so that they can make a fuck ton of money. Spoiler alert. They have a change of heart and decide to better the world.
Isle St. Hubert is what it says.
Isle St. Hubert, yeah.
So it's a different
also known
island.
as Site C.
Okay, well, I totally missed that. Jesus fucking Christ, okay.
Well, and
I totally missed that.
Part of why, I think part of the, I mean, we're all talking around sort of the same thing, but part of why I think it matters is it didn't kill the franchise. It made a ton of money. I mean, like, it at the time was perceived as a failure because they were making, close to $1 billion, or at least for inflation. But like, you would look like what this made then is equivalent to what the last one just made, right? Like, I mean, it's pretty close. So like, would you say that Rebirth killed Jurassic World? No. Like, they're going to keep cranking those out, probably. Now, they did go a long time. What was it? When did the first Jurassic World come out? Like 20...
Yeah, they went 14 years.
So it went a long time. And I think that's part of why... So it did, stun it, or, for a while, killed it, whatever word you want to use. But I think that also... is a part of why it matters is because it kind of had that effect. It sort of like, oh, we thought we could just milk this to the end of the earth, but also like things kind of didn't go that long outside of like your horror franchises. What really extended beyond 3 movies in that period of time too, like I don't know, maybe there were plans for a 4th one if it hit a certain benchmark or whatever. I've not read enough about it, but I just think it matters because it's Jurassic Park. That's kind of the main thing I would say. Like, I do think I'm curious how a new person, if you've never seen any Jurassic Park movie, you didn't grow up with, I guess if you're like 7, you're growing up with like the Rebirth. Like, I wonder what a kid, because these movies, I look at all these movies and think they're all like kids movies, really. Like, they're just like effectively like just a little bit above what a kids movie is. Really, they're all like adventures. I mean, again, the first one's a little different, but even that I think still functions in that way. And I wonder what you think of all of these movies if you're someone growing up, because there's some franchises I think like they're old, they just need to go away. Like, kids just don't care about them. Like, they like my son is not going to care about some of the things I like as much as I did because like they're old. They run out of ideas. Dinosaurs are never dying. The dinosaurs are like the coolest fucking thing to every kid that's ever walked on the earth for a short period of their life, at least, up until at least 6 years old. And I think you could put any of these movies on for a kid and they'd be pretty happy ultimately, which is somewhat an indictment of the fact that there are like 8 are there 8 now? 7, 8
7.
So, I mean, it just speaks to what sort of Hollywood is, where you've got, this whole big franchise that spawned out of just, it's basically the same movie over and over. But that's also what a lot of monster movies are. It's what a lot of horror movies are. So why not do it with dinosaurs too? I don't feel like I've done a good job defending my case for why this movie matters. But
I was going to say, I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you, like, as a Halloween fan, as a fan of, the Friday the 13th series, all things horror, right? There's multiple sequels, even in the Halloween series, which are my favorite, that absolutely do not matter. So, just because they're part of a great property doesn't mean that it necessarily matters. Does Star Wars Episode 2, The Clone Wars, matter? No.
Well, I mean, I don't even want to talk about Star Wars.
I'm just saying, like, that's where we're sitting with this one. Like, to me, it's, I don't know.
I mean, it matters. What I would say, I guess, too, is to me, it matters. For me, it's like I'm looking at the question a little bit bigger than, like, the franchise, too. Like, it matters because it's like a type of movie that doesn't really exist anymore. Like, Jurassic Park movies exist, but, like, a 90-minute, it's a B movie. Like, this is, like, totally like a, like we were talking, what was it we were talking about recently? There was another movie we talked about that was like it was like they gave, and maybe I was talking about this, like in the, like, just kind of references it. Like, it's like if you gave a $200 million budget to a B movie. Like, that's kind of like what this is a little bit. So, and I'd rather see that, honestly. I'd rather see stuff like that. I would rather see more movies like this than whatever, like, Rebirth was. And I say that having not seen Rebirth, but I think I'd rather see more movies like this than whatever that looks like.
Here's my thing. Like, I think Rebirth takes chances, has really good action sequences, the story flows better, the characters have more depth to them. Like, this film is a shell of a movie. Like, it's not, there's no heart to it. Like, this is why I don't like it. Like, I like the film as far as, like, it's enjoyable, it's a good popcorn movie, whatever. But, like, I want movies that have great performances, good plot points, with the stupidity of dinosaurs eating people. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want.
I want those movies, but without the dinosaurs.
I'm just saying, like,
and the problem is we can't make it. Like,
there's a way you can do that. And I just feel like this, like, this is a perfect example of 2001 where studios, and this is the problem that I have with horror, right? Is, like, around this time, right before this time, about 7 years before this, horror is in such a dull rut because people are just throwing money at horror movies thinking that they're going to make money, and it's just a shell of itself. It's people phoning it in. It's bad performances. They're hiring actresses that they get to play the lead character because they slept with them and because they're bad actresses and but they look good and they in a tank top, and, like, the performances are bad. The storyline's bad. It's just gore. It's whatever. Even the effects aren't good compared to the effects from the movie that happened 20 years before that. So, like, and then Scream comes along and changes horror, right? And makes people rethink, like, holy shit, we need a proper, you can create an original intellectual property and build all these amazing characters and sequences around it and tell a good story while making fun of how shitty the entire genre has been for the last 15 years, and people will love it. And, like, so we needed that for other films at this time, I think.
I do think something you talked about.
We still need it today.
It made me think of what else was going on at this time, because so this was Universal is behind Jurassic Park. I don't know what their other big franchises were other than
Fast and Furious.
So other than Fast and Furious, and so that I think that sort of supplants Jurassic Park as the thing they lean into. Like, and obviously it paid off. I mean, those movies started doing crazy numbers by the next decade. Mm-hmm.
But even then, they start to get heartless and bad and stupid.
Well, Right. I mean, everything kind of devolves into that, and then they're competing with Warner Brothers, who starts churning out Harry Potter movies, and they're affiliated with Lord of the Rings, right? Warner Brothers, it was, at least at the time, I think, or New Line.
New Line. Yeah.
So it was a good time for Jurassic Park to just probably go away too, because it just kind of worked out.
And I think it's in Jurassic World, one of the meta things they talk about, which I think is kind of reflective of how this movie did at the box office. They're like, oh, people are bored of dinosaurs, so that's why they create this new monstrosity, because people are bored, and it's almost kind of commenting on like original Jurassic Park, such an amazing movie, and like diminishing returns with each movie, and then Jurassic World, they're kind of poking fun at that a little bit, and it's almost like the studios are like, dinosaur movies aren't working anymore. What about these guys that drive fast cars, or these movies with elves and shit in them, and they kind of like go down these different genre routes of stuff that's going to make them more money.
It is funny that one of the biggest franchises, that's like the biggest franchise that isn't affiliated with a book, or a superhero, which I guess those are affiliated with books too, was spawned from race cars, like God drag racing. Like that was like.
Oh, you mean based on
the
a true story?
Yes. The true story of Dominic Toretto and his family.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna give my ranking. I just wrote this down. Of all 7 of these movies. Again, you have original Jurassic Park up here at the top of Mount Everest. Down here in
Mount
the Mariana,
K2?
in the Mariana Trench is the rest of these movies. I would go OG Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World Rebirth, Lost World, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic World Dominion. I just do not care for that Jurassic World trilogy, and it also might just be the Chris Pratt of it all, because like it got to the point where I was like, I can't stand to see this guy's fucking face.
Well, that's the part. Like, I don't mind Chris Pratt, but to me, it's like you talk about oversaturation. I mean, he was in those, like Guardians. Like he's like, I mean, Guardians to me is like that was the Chris Pratt I wanted, was the Guardians of the Galaxy Marvel Chris Pratt. That's all I needed. I didn't need him to be Mario. Like,
he actually wasn't bad as Mario though.
No, he's fine.
The Mario movie's actually really good.
No,
I was
fine.
not a fan of that selection either when I first saw it. I was like, oh great, Chris Pratt. But
I will say, I think he is really funny as the Lego movie. I can't remember the lead character's name.
I forgot he was the lead.
I thought that was actually a really good voice performance.
I liked the Lego movie and the sequel. I like the first one more, but.
Okay, well, if we're going ranking systems, I mean, I'm going with Jurassic Park, the original, of course. I really liked Fallen Kingdom. I thought Fallen Kingdom was dope. So I'm going Fallen Kingdom, then Jurassic World. Dominion is not bad. It's not bad. I'm going Dominion.
Art is subjective.
Okay, I'm going Dominion after that. But I would put Rebirth really close to it. I really need to finish Rebirth. I might like Rebirth better than Dominion. But then I'm putting 2 and 3 at the bottom 2 the same. I don't really know which one I prefer more. I'd have to rewatch 2, The Lost World, but at this point, I don't feel like I need to.
The Lost World, I actually think Vince Vaughn is pretty great in that movie, but he's counterbalanced with Jeff Goldblum, and his weird daughter subplot.
That's 2 weird actors to put together at the same time.
And it's got your Julianne Moore.
Yeah.
Your redhead Julianne Moore.
Yeah. Oh, it just went up 2 spots.
No, Julianne Moore doesn't do it for me. She never has. She's no Bryce Dallas Howard.
I've only seen 4 of the movies, so I'm just going to go with Jurassic Park. Obviously, far and away in the front. Then this one, lagging behind considerably. Then I guess Jurassic World and whatever the second one was. Which one is that?
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom. So I might have liked Fallen Kingdom more. I honestly don't remember. I've not watched either of those since I saw them in the theater. So
Fallen Kingdom is the only film that can get you to cry over a dinosaur.
Oh my God! No,
right?
yes, I was gonna say that's the
That
scene of them leaving the
Brachiosaurus.
island,
Oh.
and those dinos are on the
Brutal.
shore, and they're like crying for help, and they're like the whole
Brutal.
island's on fire. It is brutal.
Yeah. Tugs at your heartstrings.
Okay,
you
I'll
know what
put
I'm
it up. I'll put it up above Jurassic World then, just for that recreation.
saying? Brachiosaurus, you jerk! You can't leave me like this.
I love Brachiosaurus. It's my favorite dinosaur, and I hate that they were done so dirty in this movie.
Oh, okay. Well, it's time to board the helicopter and fly the hell out of Isla Sorna. So thanks everyone for listening. Links to all of our online hangouts are in the description. And if you aren't already, please consider watching us on YouTube and subscribing anywhere you'd like. And if you like what you heard, don't forget to rate and review us on Apple, Spotify, Overcast, whatever podcast app you're using. And if you didn't care for this, then why are you still listening? And feel free to move on without comment. All right, any last thoughts from you guys?
If you listen to us for 2 hours talk about Jurassic Park 3 and you didn't enjoy it, that's on you.
That is absolutely on you. All right, last thoughts, last comments.
I'm good.
All right,
Catch
so
you
stay
on the
tuned.
flip side.
Yeah, stay tuned for next week, where Josh is going to take us from this mediocre movie filled with unintentional comedy to an Oscar-winning dark comedy. Josh, what are we doing?
Yes, it's the start of Oscars month. It might shock you. Jurassic Park 3 was not nominated for any Oscars.
You mean it wasn't nominated for special effects?
It should have been sound design.
Sound design could have been.
Sound design.
The turtle fucking a shoe should have done it.
That's the winner.
But the start of Oscar month, so in March, we will be talking about 5 movies that were all nominated or won Oscars. We are super excited about that. The first one up is No Man's Land, which won Best. I think it was called. I'm pretty sure it was Best Foreign Film at the time. It's now, that award is now called Best International Feature or something along those lines. We'll get it right once we start talking about it next week. But it's a very dark comedy is a good way to describe it, I would say. So it's an exciting movie. I like it quite a bit, so I look forward to talking about it.
And we are recording that episode in approximately 20 hours, and I still have not watched this movie, so...
Allison, get to it. It's a great film. I really love it. I'm excited to talk about it.
With that, we will see y'all next time, and may your dreams be filled with talking raptors.
Alan!
Alan!
Smell you later, Alan!